Good afternoon and welcome back to the workbench. Here is my capacitance meter here, which I built from a silicon chip kit. Well, not a kit. I took the design from the magazine and I made my own boards and I did everything myself. Got my own front panel laser cut and stuff. It was quite a fun time. I made this years and years ago and it's been working fine ever since, except the other day when I pressed the power button and the display flickered and there was a kind of a buzzing noise, and jiggling the button made the thing continue doing that. So I think the switch is actually faulty. Appears to have broken or something burnt out inside perhaps. I guess maybe the inrush current from this big transformer is the problem. It's only like 1 amp, 15 volt, 15 VA. It's only 1 amp transformer. It's not something, highly powerful, but I guess the this here is not working. So I think that's what the issue is. So I'm going to take this off and see what's inside. Now, I got a new one here, and I noticed that this back end actually unscrews, and you can see if I unscrew this one, we have a little spring, and we have 2 contacts in the back and a little plate that goes on a spring. So the whole switch mechanism, there's a latching mechanism mechanical inside here, but the actual electrical contacts are just this metal disc of whatever it is, and these 2 little pins here. Now, of course, I could have replaced this with a different type of switch, but then I would have had to change the front panel and stuff, and change the hole, cut the hole bigger maybe. I don't know. I may still end up doing it maybe if this one doesn't last, but because even though this is quite a few years old, it hasn't had a huge amount of use. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. So I'm just seeing if I can unscrew this bit. Yep, I can. So that unscrews. So if I just loosen this nut on the front, if I loosen this, now I should be able to loosen that. Yep, to the point where this will spin in the hole. And then I should be able to unscrew this out of here. And if I just carefully take the nut and washer off here, let's see. Well, that's strange then. That actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I mean there's light sort of padding or burning on there. I don't know if that's enough of a problem to cause a problem, but it doesn't look that bad, does it? And the other side, that looks pretty decent too, actually. Yeah, I mean that looks fairly good. There is a little bit of sort of damage on that lower one there. You can see it's not as shiny as the other, so yeah, good point. Maybe this is bad enough that it's causing a poor contact, but there's nothing majorly burnt or anything. Nothing terrible like I kind of expected to see, but I can definitely replace it and see what happens. I'm just going to cut this heat shrink off. Let's see. Right, well let's get that desoldered. I mean switches do burn out sometimes, it's just what happens. And of course, I could definitely, try and clean this up and stuff and that, but I kind of, things like this, it's sometimes better just to replace them if you can. I mean, I'd clean it if there was no other option available, or replace it, just cut a different hole, file the hole out and put a different switch in, or something. Personally, I just don't find it's worth the headache to muck around with these things. Although it does look kind of fine, to be honest. I don't know if it's anything else. I mean, I don't think it's the power socket that's bad. That looks totally fine. I don't know about the fuse holder. Yeah, no, that looks totally fine as well. It's nice and clean. There's no weird marks on that. Hard to get the camera in, but yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I don't think that's the problem. And I did notice, the issue when I was wiggling the button. Even just wiggling it slightly would cause the issue, so yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with the rest of the mains input. I think it's probably the switch, so I'm just going to replace it. So let's see. There we go. We got that off there. Now I'm going to put this back together. I can't be bothered cleaning it or anything. I suppose I should have demonstrated the issue, but I didn't really feel like I could be bothered. You'll just have to take my word for it. I heard a kind of an arcing sound and the display would flicker and it wouldn't turn on properly, and pressing the button would, I don't know, there's something wrong with it. Maybe it's even something wrong with the actuation mechanism, that it's not actually pushing it down far enough or something, but they both sound about the same. I don't know. Yeah, obviously I've got to put some extra heat shrink on this. Yeah, that fits over there. That should do. Make sure we put that on first so we don't mess it up. Always put the heat shrink on first. Otherwise, if you forget, you'll solder it on and then you'll be like, oh no, and then you have to take it off again and it's just a right pain. So, don't do that. See if I can get this through the hole. No. This one should be small enough. Yeah, that'll go through there, but I might have to cut this off and redo it. It might be too short. Too thick, I mean. I get a close-up of this. Probably should do it on the microscope or something, but it's not a big deal, is it really? I rub the iron on it to sort of scratch the plating a bit, because these switch contacts don't often solder, or any of these kind of things don't often solder perfectly straight away. Okay, I might have to cut this one off and strip it back a bit. So we can get enough wire. So I'm just going to twist that together and try to insert it in there without the strands all coming apart, which is right fun. Nope, it's being annoying. So sometimes better to tin it a little bit. Sorry, this is not in focus at all, is it? It's focusing on the stuff down here instead of up there where I want it to, because the autofocus is awful and the manual focus is non-existent. Right, and now that it's too big to even fit in the hole at all, you take a pair of pliers and you squeeze it and sort of flatten it and squash it into a shape that actually goes in the hole. Yeah, there we go, see? Now it goes in. So if you just put a little bit of solder on just to tin all the pieces and stick them together, it often works. Now of course the thing is now a little bit too long and it's obviously sticking onto the other one, but that's okay, we can cut that off after we solder it. So now it's just a case of like squeezing that sideways so that that is accessible for soldering. And now we solder this on. Okay, using the same thing. We do it from this side because we don't want to get too much on the inside. And then yeah, we've got this little bit of wire that's sticking out, but we can just cut that off. It's still a bit hot, so I'm slightly burning my fingers here, but that's okay. Make sure you got that and it's not gone in the thing somewhere and to short something out, but there we go. Now we've got that like that. There we go, you can maybe see that. It looks pretty good. Alright, so now we can put the heat shrink over it, obviously, and I can heat shrink that on with my hot air gun, or hot air rework station I mean. I don't actually have a hot air gun. I've never needed one for anything. Now I'm going to hold this way, and then I'm going to blow the hot air in from this side so that the hot air exhaust is coming out here and it's not going to melt anything important. So let's just put that on. So we can flip that round a bit. There we go. That's pretty good. You can just go there. And now I just got to tighten the nut up. Now of course, because this has no key on the switch to keep it aligned in place, you have to sort of just hold it square, make sure it's aligned properly as you tighten it up. That seems pretty good. Yeah. That's not that's nice and tight. Alright. And now we're going to test it and see if it actually works. Let me go and get a cord. Actually, I've got the next best thing, a crusty old extension cord from, I don't know, last century probably. I just plug that into the normal plug and then I can get it down here on the bench. So we can plug this in. It's very, very thick, but that's good. It's good quality. One of those ones they probably used for CRT monitors on old computers, you know. But if I plug that in there and bring the camera back a bit so you can get everything in the shot, let's see if the switch works now. Yep, wonderful. No weird buzzing noises, no flickering display. Everything actually seems to be fine. Have I got a capacitor somewhere I could measure? Yeah, there's one here. I don't know, what's this? 330 microfarad, 250 volts. Let me put the lid on so I'm not likely to electrocute myself. As much fun as a Diode Gone Wild video is, where he likes to poke mains connectors with his bare hands, I'm not really into that stuff, so yeah. Okay, let's just make sure that's shorted. I'm sure it is, because it's been sitting around for about 1,000,000 years. Let me set this to microfarads. Oh yeah, it's already on 1,000 microfarads, so we should get, now I haven't actually ever tested this cap, it's just like new old stock, so it could be faulty, but probably not, but we should get 330 microfarads on here. Well, yeah, 310. So, yeah, close. Not exactly 330, but like I said, this is new old stock, so who knows. Back in the day, things had worse tolerance. I don't know what this is. 1002? That's a date code, 2002. Yeah, so this could be like 24 years old. Doesn't surprise me the capacity is slightly low, but there we go. The meter works. Yeah, kind of surprising, because the amount of like damage inside this one seems so minor. I'm kind of surprised that it caused such a problem, but yeah, I kind of expected the thing to be completely like burnt and pitted and charred and really bad, but the actual amount of damage was quite small. But hey, it was enough to cause a problem, and there we go. Just goes to show, even though something looks mostly okay, it can still be an issue. But there, look at that. So wonderful. We have the capacitance meter up and working again. I can put that back up on the bench and continue using it. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully that was useful, and I'll see you next time.